All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're not digging into some dense academic report. Nope. We're looking at something way more personal, and honestly, way more powerful. A few handwritten pages from a total beginner's English notebook. And hidden inside these notes, a truly brilliant blueprint for how to learn just about anything.
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You decide, I'm going to learn a new language, which is awesome. But then you're staring at a blank page, and it feels huge. Where do you even start? Vocabulary? Grammar? Do you just start talking? That first step can be the most intimidating part of the whole thing.
Well, for the person who wrote these notes, the whole journey kicked off right here, on this very page. This isn't just a notebook, it's basically a roadmap. And that date, January 31st, 2026, that makes it real. That's day one.
Okay, so let's dive into the nitty-gritty. You know, you wouldn't start building a house without surveying the land first, right? It's the same idea with learning a language. You gotta know where you stand. And that's exactly the first thing this learner did. Figure out their starting point.
And just look at how simple and brilliant this self-assessment is. Level A, you're at square one, you don't get anything. Level B, you understand what's being said, but the words just won't come out. Oh man, we've all been there, right? It's so frustrating. And then level C, you get it, and you can speak the basics. In just 3 lines, this learner has a clear path forward. The goal is simple, just move up the ladder.
So, the level is set. Now what? Well, it's time to lay the first bricks. And what's the most fundamental, the most basic building block of a language? The alphabet, of course. But our learner here doesn't just write down the letters. Nope. They immediately start breaking them down, figuring out the hidden rules.
If we look back at that first page, you can see this amazing organization at work. The 26 letters aren't just one big messy group. They're neatly split into 2 categories: how they're written, capital and small, and more importantly, how they're spoken.
And this is the key insight, right here, the division into vowels and consonants. This isn't just about memorizing shapes, it's about understanding how sounds actually work. And I gotta say, I love this little note about Y being a semi-vowel. That shows a real curiosity, a desire to know the why behind the rules, right from the get-go.
All right, alphabet? Check. What's next? Well, our learner doesn't waste a second. They immediately map out the entire progression, moving from the tiniest piece of the puzzle all the way up to the ultimate goal of actually speaking.
And this lays out that path perfectly. You start with letters. You put those letters together to make words, like pan or cat. Then you string the words together to make a sentence. I like black color. You can see exactly how it all stacks up. Sentences become paragraphs, and paragraphs become real speech. It makes the whole massive task feel so doable.
Okay, so we've got the theory down. Now let's get practical. How do you use this language to, make things happen? The simplest way is to just tell someone what to do. You give a command, or, as our learner calls it, an order. Yeah, an order. It's direct, it's simple, it's language with a job to do. This learner gets that this is the most fundamental way to use words to get someone else to perform an action. It's effective.
And boom, here's the secret sauce. A super simple but incredibly powerful formula. Just verb plus object. V plus OBJ. That's it. With just those 2 little pieces, you unlock a whole category of communication. It's like finding a master key.
And check it out in action. These are pulled straight from the notebook. Bring water, speak English, make notes. Every single one follows that simple V plus obj formula. They're clear, they're direct, and hey, they're pretty darn useful.
But, life isn't always about just barking orders at people. You gotta be polite too. So the next logical step for our learner is, how do you soften that command? How do you turn a blunt order into a polite request?
And the formula just gets a tiny little upgrade. It builds right on top of what we already learned. You just add one little magic word right at the front. Please. That's it. Please plus the verb plus the object. The structure is almost identical, but the social impact? It's huge.
Oh, this is fantastic. Seeing the 2 lists side by side from the actual notebook is perfect. On the left, you've got the direct orders. On the right, the polite requests. The action words are exactly the same. The only thing that changes is that one powerful word at the beginning that transforms the whole interaction.
Let's really break it down. Order, bring water. Request, please bring water. That one-word difference is everything. It shows this learner is grasping not just the grammar, but the social side of the language, the nuance.
And that is a massive leap forward. Okay, so our learner is getting pretty good at this. They can ask someone to do something, directly and politely. But what about the opposite? Being able to tell someone not to do something is just as crucial for communicating with confidence. It's all about setting boundaries.
And what do you know? It all comes back to another simple formula. You see the pattern here, right? This time it's don't plus the verb plus the object. Just like please, that one word don't acts like a switch that completely flips the meaning of the command.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Don't run. Don't be lazy. Don't tell a lie. These are essential, practical phrases for everyday life, all built from that same, easy-to-remember structure.
And now for the grand finale, the final piece of the puzzle. What happens when you put it all together? You combine the politeness with the negative command. You get the most sophisticated formula yet. Please plus don't plus verb plus object.
And this is just chef's kiss. This is where it all comes together. Don't make noise, that's a direct order. But please don't make noise, that's a polite request. This little change shows a deep grasp of tone, turning a simple prohibition into a respectful conversation.
I mean, just think about that for a second. In just a handful of pages, this learner went from the absolute basics, the ABCs, to being able to construct a complex, socially aware sentence, all by methodically stacking these simple, logical blocks. That right there is the power of starting small.
So this notebook really is a blueprint, isn't it? It gives us the formulas for ordering, for requesting, and for setting boundaries. So the final question isn't for the notebook, it's for you. Now that you have these simple but powerful building blocks, what's the first thing you want to say?